Okay, so we are meeting to work more on the Biota project in the Wikimedia fellowship program, and today we're going to look at this particular property here, Australian Faunal Directory publication ID, because it's sitting behind the Australian Faunal Directory, but it's full of links between species and the articles that they were published in, where the taxa was described. And so, for example, here is a list. If we go CASSAB, we can find a list of a bunch of papers by CASSAB, and each of those is linked. So if I click on one of them, then I get a unique identifier for this particular paper, which happens to describe a genus and a few species.
No, it doesn't describe the genus.
Okay.
Because you can see Thompson described.
Oh, that was already there. All right, it talks. Yes, I see. This is just a topic. So, so this is one of the topics in this article. Maybe it refers to a bunch of different species.
And these are clearly the ones below are the ones defined because it says primary.
Over here. Great, yeah. Thanks.
And you can tell by the date, CASSAB 1987, which is precisely the date of the publication.
Good, yes, that's what I was looking at, but you're right, this column is even better. So primary implies that that's where it was described. So for example, then, if we go to one of those, let's see if we've got it. Here's a species, and if we find out whether that's on Wikidata, it is, and it's been matched.
We've uploaded it.
So we could even go to that page and see that it is described by CASSAB. This says that we know it's taxon name, but we could even go a little further. We could say that who it was described by, and
it's a qualifier of the name, so you have to edit the name.
Yeah, I won't. Yes, a good point. I won't do the whole thing now, but I guess there's a lot of extra detail we could put in here to send people off to the actual original publication. So an example Margaret showed of this was this genus, which where the correct spelling is G-O-N-D, Gondwana, whereas in many databases it's G-O-D.
Every other database but ALA.
So that's a bit of a classic.
It derives directly from AFD.
Yeah, so we've got the original well described in the AFD, and what we were going to see is, oh yeah, that's right. So so in this taxon name, it's been done well with by linking to that particular author. The year of publication is given, and then we have some options for both just a simple link to the taxon page at AFD, but also here's another option, which is to link to the article itself, including the page, and it was the first valid description. So if we go there, now we've got an item about this. Oh, actually it's redirected. So I guess we had two items about this, and now they've been merged. So that's the original scholarly article. It has a bunch of stuff about it, a title, some subjects, including the one that we're interested in.
Didn't tidy up after merging.
So yeah, Rod Page has been working on this.
Didn't tidy up after merging. Huh.
Oh, sorry, what's not tidy? Is it?
He's got an author and an author name string of the same person. I mean, it's one of those things that you do when you do an article merge. You know that someone might have done it. You know,
you're saying we can delete this one, you mean? Is that what you mean?
Want to delete that one.
Okay, sure, I agree with that.
So, and you probably want to. It's got two names because one had a reference and one didn't, and when you merge, if they're not identical, it gives you both. So you want to move one of. No, that's fine. That part there.
They look identical, actually.
No, not there. It's in the title.
They really do. They look identical.
Go to the title.
Okay, I'll do the title in a sec. These look identical to me. So
no, one's archived. Oh, perhaps it's not. But yes, that's one of the silly things.
Anyway, okay, so you're saying title. I see. Here, French and
it's
German.
Not in French.
Well, I don't know.
It's in German.
It's in German. Okay, I'll remove the French then. Okay. Anyway, the point is, so we've got some item about this scholarly article, and it has exactly one identifier at the moment, which is to this Australian Faunal Directory publication ID.
It won't get any others either. I thought it might be on Zobodat or Plasi treatment, but it's not. Plasi treatment's pretty good, but it's not.
Well, eventually
it has no DOI because it's a pretty obscure an ancient publication.
The ancient ones haven't all been minted yet. Shout out to Nicole Kearney, who's going to work on that, I guess. But yeah, so sure, we've just got one here, but one is enough, and it would take us to that page. Well, let's do it. There's the page on the AFD. So that's a nice property. It's an important property, and we're wondering whether we can use it a bit more. Looks like somebody has been using it. So this KR bot looks like it's doing something.
And Rod Page has been putting it up too. I find.
So we'll go here.
I always put it up when I, when I have an item that I've taken directly from there. But I notice quite often that when I go to put it up, it's already there because Rod Page has put it up.
Good stuff. Yep. So we'll go to that property, and then we'll just poke around for a little bit to try and figure out whether we can contribute more to this, or how it's going, or what's happening. So this is the property page. I just added a slightly different constraint possibility to it. Oh, no.
Oh, did you? What did you add?
I think, hang on, am I on the wrong page?
Maybe you're on the right one.
Faunal Directory ID. No, I'm on the wrong one. That's
you're in the wrong one. You want to
okay. This is the one. We want the publication ID. Okay, yep. So one that I changed recently was this. It is meant to be on instances or subclasses of articles, chapters, books. I added scientific journal. You'll see why that in a minute. I'll show you why I did that. But so we're going to poke around, kind of see what this does. It's a property that's related to a bunch of stuff. Australia apparently has 85,000 different things in it, or at least a few years ago it did.
Toby, can I ask you, you've got whoever asserted this property, asserted this statement.
Oh, this thing here? Yeah.
Yeah. How do you score that?
Yeah, it's useful. Let's see. It's in preferences. Probably a gadget. No, not an editor. Okay, I'll read through some of the ones that I have ticked just in case it's. No, none of those. Authority. No, none of those. So
don't worry.
Okay, so in that case, it's not here. Where it would be in my like
JSON Commons.
Common. Yeah, that's it. Common.js. So I'll go there, and then it'll be one of these. So I can't.
Okay, I'll take a look at your.
Yeah, have a look. It must be one of those, I think. But to be honest, I can't tell which one it is.
No. One pops it up and thereafter never thinks about it.
Funny. All right. Well, anyways, it should be somewhere there. It is quite useful. I find it good.
Yeah, no, it's quite nice because I always have to go to the history page to find that, and of course,
it's much slower. Yeah, you're right.
Faster.
Yep. So okay. So
you added a constraint. That was what you were in the midst of telling me when I interrupted.
Yeah, I was just slowly scrolling down. So it's got an item for the faunal directory. Here are some examples of items about articles, just like we said a minute ago. We showed one. So then it's the format, crazy long format. That's fine. And source. Yeah. All right. I did this as well. It's quite related to the property Australian Faunal Directory ID. So I've clicked in a sort of related property, and then there are a bunch of constraints. But what I was going to show you next is the constraint page. So this is like you first go to the talk page of that property, and then click on constraint violation summary. So here are some of them. So for example, here it was supposed, before I got there, it was supposed to have scholarly article, chapters and books only. So for example, The Zoologist is a scientific journal, and it's somehow linking to that whole scientific journal. And I found another example, which also I was trying to link to a whole scientific journal as well. So I'll show you that later. But anyway, so that's, I guess we could even tighten up some of those constraints, but that's not what I wanted to show. Here's some unique value violations. So that means we've got the identifier is on 2 different items. Yep. So, and those items look like they have exactly the same name. So it does look like we have duplicates in Wikidata.
And that's handy, because one of the things I find really frustrating about articles is that I can never match on the article title, or very rarely. Okay. And so what I typically do is I use the DOI, I go to source MD, and then I see whether there's a Wikidata item that has that DOI, because if it's capitalized differently, it will not match. If it has a full stop in the middle of it, it will not match. If it's got a dash instead of a break character, it will not match. And so some of these older publications are extremely difficult to not duplicate, because there's nothing that. So this is actually a way of, I mean, this is really useful.
Yeah, if a duplicate does happen, we can get rid of it.
I mean, the fact that whoever it was picked up that I'd done I'd carefully put up this whole bloody thing, I mean, even I struggled with the annals of the Musée, Hungarico, Diddley-Pom, whatever, because again, the capitalization was different. So when I did a search for it, I didn't find it. And I put in a duplicate thing for the publication, which which I then had to merge. And I've clearly put in a duplicate publication just because it's so hard. The search on the name of the article as given in Australian Faunal Directory did not match anything in in Wikidata.
Yeah. Okay. So in this case, we have pretty similar names. So I'm pretty confident that they are worth merging. So I've opened them both up. Have a look that when I switch tabs, you don't even change this. So it must be identical titles, which means that yes, it looks like yours is the second one and Rod Page's is the first. So yeah, yes. they're the same. He got in a bit.
Repeating his bloody work.
He got in a bit earlier than you. Well, a few 20 million before you. So we'll merge those. So we just click merge like that.
I'm glad you've shown me that, because it's
no worries. And so I don't always clean up after mergers, but you're right. We should quickly look down that. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Very similar URLs. But anyway,
sometimes okay. There's a lot of people. Yes, a lot of people put in the DOI as saying full work available at, and if I
well, in this case, it was both. They're both very similar. They're both Australian Museum.
Yeah, one says complete PDF,
complete or not. But PDF. Anyway, doesn't matter too much, I don't think.
No, doesn't matter at all.
And then down here, it's got a DOI, this one. So okay, so that's good. So we merge those two. We might quickly do the same for this pair. So new and curious Cisanoptera, and they again have identical titles. So except one of them has got this LV.
Yes,
and then the other one doesn't.
It's good to merge it because it will give it makes the other one an alias, so it'll still find it.
Oh, Succubot beat you to it this time. So yeah, that's right. But they're similar things this time. So we'll merge them.
It's such a bugger.
Oh, these robots, they can go pretty quick.
No, it's not the robots. I'm just saying it's such a bugger searching for titles, because I always search before I make.
Yeah. This one, they were different titles, weren't they? So it wouldn't necessarily match. And there's the example. Yeah. Okay. So I don't think we'll figure out which one is. Oh, that's good. Better date. Might delete the bad date. They look identical with just a long dash or a short dash.
I always keep one with the reference if there is a reference there.
But this one has a longer dash. That's the only difference I knew about. Oh, that's weird. Why would one of them be issue 4 and the other one? I don't know what that's.
Perhaps because they're different articles. Go and just check them.
Oh no, don't tell me. We've merged two things the same. Oh no, but they shouldn't be, because
look at the pagination. That would probably in the pages.
The pages were identical. So okay, so we'll go here maybe and see where.
This is the Brits making money out of stuff that's free.
Okay, but all I want to know is
you can't download it from here.
This says issue 4. That's all I want. So that's issue 4. Let's see
the dates are often wrong when it comes from there. And I hate it as a.
Oh, this one says issue 1. Is that the issue?
Yes.
Okay, so there is some controversy about which issue it's in. So never mind, I'm not going to clear that up at the moment, but at least we've merged them. So let me go back then to this. So we've cleared up the unique ones. These ones here, single value. I noticed on the what is it, like the AFD page, it says currently there are many duplicate publications in the AFD. We're working to resolve this issue. So that is probably the cause of most of these. They literally have 2 different IDs for the same article. And so that's a problem with the AFD database.
In which case you leave them both.
We can leave them both here, and that means this constraint is a bit well, it's
useful, but it's violated. not you know, all of those should be kept, because you don't know which one they're going to delete anyway if they tidy those things up.
Yeah. Okay. So that's reasonable. It looks like there's a few bots working on them, and they're up to 18,000 out of 85,000.
I don't know that there's all that many bots working on it. I think
okay. Yeah. Well, we just saw some.
I mean, for example, I know Succubot comes through, you know, like, you know how we put up all of the AFD things. Well, the bot that he uses to modify all of our taxa is it provides labels in other European languages, which is a really useful thing to do. So he labels them for about 20 languages, but. I'm not sure that.
So then I was just trying to poke around for downloading these references, and Margaret already mentioned that there's no real way of bulk downloading references. So for example, that one, that when we searched for Castab, we found 36. They were all in different lines, but we can't click get a CSV or anything like that, unfortunately. So to do a big job with these might need sort of communication with the AFD themselves. They might just need to send us some data. But I suppose we could consider trying to scrape this kind of table, but I'm not totally sure what we would do with it once we had the scrape. Let me show you a different way that I found. So if you're on so there's a particular article, it's describing these taxa. And if I click on a higher level taxa, so here's a genus. Over here is a thing called bibliography, which lists all of the articles that relate to this genus in this case. We could go higher, but here's the genus. And this one now
is
available in CSV
format.
So we can actually
Toby, I haven't ever spotted that.
Ah, well, there you go. So it does look kind of interesting. So
that looks fabulous.
If I get that, and it says I can either click it directly or right click it as save as. So actually, I'm going to, oh no, it doesn't matter too much. I think later we might actually want to save as to make sure it does not ruin the special characters. But anyway, for now, I'll just click on it and we'll see it. So it's giving me a CSV. Excel will open it by default. And here's a bunch of columns we get. Let's just expand some of them. Oh, that's too big. I don't want all of that. Oh no, all right, hang on, I'll undo that. Okay, so we've got a longish title, an author, a year, some pages, a parent book title, a parent journal title. Now that, yes, I want to talk about that in a minute. That's where I got this thing that I need to add. So parent article title. So it doesn't have a parent. These ones don't have parent articles. Parent publication date, publisher. All right, there you go. And a long one, which I don't really want, which is a publication formatted. It has all this kind of markup. If you wanted to put it in an HTML format or something, that could be useful, but we don't want that. So qualification type. Type's interesting. So article in journal or book or miscellaneous and so on. Then, okay, here's the real guts, right? So here is the identifier. So that is the identifier of these articles. And so that's the kind of thing that you could put in a list and do a bulk upload for. But then what caught my eye was actually not that one. What's this? Oh, last update. We don't need that. This one. Look at this. So this says parent publication GUID. So as in each of these articles is actually inside a bigger thing. And I think it might be better to concentrate our efforts on getting the higher level stuff matched before the lower level stuff, because all of the lower level stuff is inside these parents. So I had a quick look at what these parents are. So like, I think that they correspond to these ones here. And so, for example, we could, I don't know, pick something, okay, let's do that one. Where's this? So we could go here and say, do we know this thing? Oh, there's two of them. That's interesting.
Different
one
years,
has one has a year period.
Changed slightly by name.
All right, my one has the de la Société. So yeah, so there's this one. Oh no, but that has a, oh, okay, I don't know. So this is, okay, it looks like this is the best match. Yes, that's an exact match on the title. Started in 1896. And I guess down here, what I'm looking for is, does it already have one of these identifiers for the Australian Faunal Database publication ID?
Probably not.
And I do not see it yet.
Top.
Yeah.
So type it in, and then it tells you that it's doubled up.
Okay.
I often do.
Publication ID.
It's such a bore going through all of those things.
And so to find it, so the publication ID for the parent is way across here. So there'll be this one here. If I grab that and put it in here, we can test out whether this worked. So now if I click through on that one, it does indeed go to the Entomological Society of France. And so that's matched up a pretty high level thing, because so this is now a journal. So I think, oh, where's it gone? Yeah, scientific journal. There it is. That it has one of these IDs. And once you get to this page for that journal, you see what, 11 pages that 11 pages? Yeah, so it looks like 11 pages worth of articles that are from that society that apply to Australian entomology, I guess. So it sort of connects us. We get the Australian subset from each of those journals. It's quite, I think, quite a powerful link to make. But also, once we do make items for all these articles, then it will be quite easy to connect them to the journal they're in, because now we know that the journal they're in is this journal, and therefore we know that its QID is this one here. So I suspect that linking all the parents first might
be a good move.
Be a good one.
If Rod hasn't already done it, just check it, but refresh your thing with the curly bit at the top and just see whether it was already in there, whether you've managed to put it in the second time.
I think I did not, but okay, so I'll look at the history partly and just see.
No, I was going.
Yeah, so I did manage to make an edit, and then.
Yeah, no, but you always can make the edit. It's not like. No, it's just the one. So yeah, Rod hasn't been there before you.
And good. So, and it looked like that was the case for the other one that I tried to do as well. So it looks like these are not massively matched, these parent journals. So then the next thing I tested out was, so we did this bibliography export, right? And you can actually, I did it at the genus level, but you can actually go higher if you want. So we could go like all of these and say, well, what's the bibliography for them? There's a CSV format, and we can do the whole thing again. So that could be. Now, unfortunately, the cleverness runs out soon, because if you go too high up, so say you go to Coloptera.
Oh, there's thousands of them.
And well, yeah, they're exactly that. And this is saying how many articles have ever been written about Coloptera. So that's enormous. And so if we were to click bibliography there, it says we would have returned 30,000.
Now.
Sorry. I misread this. 30,000 data for 30,000 taxa. So as in, it's looking on each taxon.
Now, it may be the case. Go to the left-hand side, and because that message comes up on a lot of things, but in fact one was able to download, so I'm not sure. No.
I haven't figured out a way of doing it, except that it says we can email them to get bulk data, and so that might be worth doing for some kinds of things, especially if we were integrating their data with Wikidata. So yeah, there's possibilities there. At the moment, what it's saying is we could download, in any single download, we could download 1,000 different data about, so like all the publications related to 1,000 taxa at a time. So that's kind of interesting and maybe useful. Let me see if I click a size.
The tribal's probably pretty large, but there we go.
Bibliography in the family is too big.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
But only just, it's double the size it should be. So if I went, I lost the branch, tenebrinoid branch is maybe still too big. Yeah, so we're getting there nearly.
Insects are a bugger.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. So bibliography, there you go. And then now you can do it. So that would give us a download. I guess I'll open it and see what it looks like. That's not very long. Okay, is that the one? I don't know if this is the right one or not.
That's the earlier one,
That's the earlier one, yeah, I agree. Oh, here it is. Oh, it took that long to think about. Wow, that's okay. That must have actually done quite a lot then. Let's scroll down. No, it's got 124 of them. But anyway, that's kind of interesting. 124 parents. So if we, what do I do? Okay. Might do some data filtering. And the publication parents look like this. Yeah, so there's a reasonable spectrum of different journals. We're hitting the same thing time and time again. That is,
Yes.
like I saw the New South Wales one on that previous.
Yeah, no, we will see them all the time.
And so I guess what that means is if we do this download a few times, we may kind of cover most of the parents. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, yes, I mean, you would probably just go into different filer.
Mm-hmm.
And and I mean, obviously you get proceedings of, you know, the New South Wales Linnaean Society, you know, covering all phylum.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, when you get to specialist you know, things that are, you know, this is invertebrate zoology and all that kind of
just
stuff.
For the slugs,
yes, yeah. So you'd move across the filer to get those.
Okay, yeah, possible. So there's yeah, right here. This is just the Coleopterus bulletin, right? So Coleopterus, yeah. So we would not see that on if we were sitting in the slugs. Yeah. So anyway, that I guess that looked like it could potentially be useful.
That is very good that you found a way to download the CSVs, Toby.
Yeah.
I'm pretty thrilled with that. So we won't bother with that any further because I don't think there's anything particularly neat myself, unless you think there is. I was wondering about this, the ID. We put it up and, you know, for me, it proves that the article exists. And someone's talked about it, and you know, it involved all kinds of things. I mean, in fact, the AFD article thing with its bit listing, all of the taxa named in the article, is highly informative about the article itself. But I'm just wondering, you know, just like, how do you use it in a sensible way, or do you not, or is it just an identifier? I mean,
it's a good identifier. I don't know if it's worth. So, are you saying like we could do a kind of try and make items out of every single one of these 85,000 journal articles? Is that
absolutely
what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I agree that they'd all be valid Wikidata items because they're all connected to.
They're all connected
species.
to taxa.
Yeah, taxa. So they're all kind of important. I don't see a way of doing them quickly. Like imagine you had just this set. Here's a small set, and you wanted to make an item for every single one of them. You could. So let me see how to do that. So I think what we would do is prepare like a table, something like the Q, and this we'd be making a new one, and then the title, we'd need to know what the P value for a title is. Do you know that?
Completely forgotten. No, not one of those.
Let me just look up. So the format I'm about to try and type is Quickstatements. No.
I realised. Yep.
No, actually,
just have to go to an article. We've got an article up there, bulletin or something or other is there. See your bulletin? Oh, right at the top of your page.
So here,
data.
Wait, just come with me for this for a sec. So in Quickstatements, one way is to version 1, you had to like specify each statement that the eventual page would have. Whereas these CSV commands are basically, the first row is a header describing how many columns are interpreted. And the first column is a QID. And all the other columns can specify new stuff. Yeah. So this is a way of making a lot of properties on the same page, all in one edit. So here's an example they've given. you provide all at once. You provide the QID and the name, the title, and the description, and the alternative name, and the P31, and some other thing.
Yep.
What's that?
I've got you, and you've got your sources.
So, and your source, yeah, you can do whatever you like. So this is quite powerful.
I haven't seen that one before.
Right, That's
beautiful. So
it is quite Toby. Powerful. So let's test it out and do it just for these items. I am pretty confident that if you don't have a QID, see, the first column must be QID, but I believe, oh yeah. If it's empty, a new item is created. Okay, so I believe we can do that. So we can, what was it? Was it this one? So if I just leave those actually empty, delete them, QID, L, the English label, the English description, and some more stuff. The English label will be equal to this name here. It'll be a journal article or something like that. What do you call it? Scientific journal article, maybe? Whatever.
I usually say scholarly article, which is ridiculous. But and this...
You don't want that? Or you...
No, it's good. It's good. Scientific articles, excellent. It's only a description anyway. And then it's an instance of...
So yeah, so now we can make some more fields. I'll copy this down. So they're all the titles we're going to grab, and there's no more after that, so I'll delete those. They're all going, we think they're all going to be scientific articles, although maybe I should look at that a little bit more closely. Were they? Oh, because some of them were books, weren't they? So like, if we go over here, it said somewhere, where did it say?
That one with the publication.
So that was the parent. I thought it had a column.
It did.
Maybe it was up here.
Pub.
Pub formatted. No, pub qualification. Pub type. Here we go. Okay, so the article and journal, book, so on. Miscellaneous. So I could say it's equal to that. It's equal to L. So I could go equals, and then column L, like that. So these are maybe, yeah, I mean, miscellaneous is not a very good. So I think when we were describing these on the Wikidata page, we wouldn't want to say miscellaneous. So I'm going to delete that one.
You could say it's a catalogue. It's a catalogue of Tenebrionidae.
What about this one? Something about.
I'd call it an article. I mean, it doesn't matter really. I mean,
I'll call it a scientific really description.
Interesting. You know, some of the first valid descriptions in the 1800s and late 18th century are so ridiculously bare of information. And I came across one that Annie brought up, and it was the Australians accepted it, no one else did. They all said no. Well, IIMNG said it's a nomen nudum, meaning it's lacking a scientific description. And the reason it was lacking a description was that they hadn't nominated a type species. So they described, presumably they described, did I read it? No, I'd started to read it, but I didn't read it all. So they described the genus, they described 2 species in the genus, but it was a nude name because they hadn't nominated the species, the type species. I thought, oh God. Anyway, the Australians thought bullshit or whatever, because they said, no, the author is Harris, whatever. Nobody else agreed.
Right.
Well, we don't know whether nobody else agreed. We just know that people copied from other people who copied from other people who copied from other people. So it's unclear what the extent of disagreement is.
Yeah, fair enough. So here I've just noticed this title has some HTML markup in it, which is not great. So this /I is just italicizing this name.
That can go in as title in HTML.
Oh, so at the moment
so
I'm trying
quite often, yeah, you put it in.
Wait, so are you saying there is a label for that?
There's
a property for that?
It's a qualifier for a title. So it's not the title, it's a qualifier for a title. And when it's got that II stuff,
yeah,
that I put that in for most scientific articles. So I put in title and then I put in qualifier, which is title in HTML, and you have to put in that the language is English as well. And that means then that when you write it in Cite Q, it writes correctly and you get italics, because lots of people were getting very toey about the fact that italics weren't shown when people use Cite Q. And
okay, well, I did not know about this at all, but that's great. So qualifier for a title property to write title with HTML markup if the string can't render it normally. So, oh, no. Oh, yes, it has I. Good. Okay, so that's good. That it's a qualifier.
It's a qualifier for title. You have to put in title. So you have to rip out the...
Yeah, let's do that. So, okay, so what we've actually ended up with here is not the LEN, it's actually the qualifier for a title. So I'm going to move this one to here and then do that all the way down. So those, we'll come back to the English language title, the label. Come back to that one, because what we're now doing is figuring out these qualifiers for titles. So the title is, it's not always going to have a qualifier, right? Do you want to?
No, it's not.
It's a bit messy, but okay, we'll push on a little bit and see if this works. But so here's the title property. The title property goes here. This one is equal to that one without any stuff. So there's probably some. Ooh, this is more messy Excel than I want to do right now. But basically, we could do something. Actually, here, how about I hard code it? What I'll do is this particular one, I will cut the thing out of, but all the other ones. So we won't have a special qualifier for any of those.
Oops, just lost them.
Yeah. All right.
You do a paste special value.
Put them here. Right, these ones, all of these ones. That's fine. And then these are all going to be empty. Delete. I forgot them all. So this one has the brackets I in it. This one, I'm just going to copy the value. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste the value. That value I'm going to then take the italics out of.
Perfect.
So now there's two columns. One is mostly empty with one special label. And this column is meant to be a qualifier. So now we have to find out how to qualify. I think it might be something like Q or PQ. So I'll go back to...
I've completely forgotten.
Go back to this. Oh, you may not have seen it. So it's
no, I think I put up qualifiers because when I was putting up apne, I did it all in quick statements, and I didn't do it via Excel as you did. Via SAS, but I had to write all of the quick statement stuff. So
yeah, so there was
put up qualifiers.
There was a P column before, and now we need a qual column. Okay, so we just write qual and then the number. So oops, that's actually, I'm gonna close that one. That's the old one. The steno something or others. So instead of Q, we write qual. Yeah, okay. So and then this one here, the English label, that can be equal to this one, because that's the title.
Yep.
So there we go. There's a bunch
They're
of
all
titles.
perfect.
They're good. Now, what else would you have on this article, on this item? One thing you'd have is the identifier. So we need that quickly because that's very important. So this identifier, which is the publication ID, we will put here. And that will be equal to the value from here. Now I've got to be careful not to get the parent one, but to get the publication GUID. And so there'll be a column of those.
Beautiful.
That's good. What else? When you, I guess one way of figuring out what you would put in an article, on an item is to make the actual item and then try and figure out what it should have had. So for example, it should have had a, or I could look at an item and see if it has everything we want. So let's go to this CASAB one. Here we go. So it had an English label, it had a description, it had an instance of, so we want that as well. So P31, and then we can even tell what the value is. So, it's gone, Excel, P31, and the value for all the P31s will be a scientific article, except that book, wherever that book was. Oh no, okay, this is a trap for new players in Excel. If you just pull down, it increments them by one, but if you get a pair, then it does not increment. So that's true of everything except the book. So I'll delete the book one, and maybe the catalog. Oh no, the catalog is kind of an article, is it? I don't know.
I think it's an article. I mean, it takes up pages in a thing. Yeah, it's not a book. It's
something for a book.
It's included in a scientific journal. It's, you know, it gets a name. It takes up a certain amount of space. The fact that it's a catalogue, you know, my goodness.
So this is the downside of you know, you said you wanted to have the who wrote this, and for some reason who wrote this does everyone who's ever written that. But anyway, okay, so I think it's technically an edition rather than a book. So I'll click that one, and it's a specific version of a work resulting from its edition. So yeah, I think that's the right thing to put on, although someone is welcome to correct me if I'm wrong. So there you go. So there's our type. Now, what else would we put in
if there's an
instance
number
of the article, we've done the title already. Main subject. Don't think I can give QIDs for all the subjects at this point, so I'll leave that. Author is going to be various. If
they all come from Tenebrity or whatever, you can use the general thingo, because obviously they are about.
They did. You know, they came from.
You know how we've taken it. Okay. Subset, so we probably can just put something in.
Oh, it says it was the Derospheros.
Yeah, if you go back to our whatever.
Derospheros. Yeah. So I think I'll find
him, and we'll see what kind of animal he is.
A genus of
insect. It's an insect.
So I could say.
Well, that's not much help. That's good. Go up to the next level.
No, wait up. This is good. So the main subject of all of these items is Derospheros. That's great.
Yep.
That's pretty specific, I think. So
I think that's very specific.
So main subject is what? P921. Okay, so we go P921, and then the value is Derospheros. And I paste it again so that when I copy down, it will not increment. Okay, so that's fine. What else would that have on it? So it has an author, but actually these are all different authors. Publication date, I think we can find that in the...
Should be able to.
In the one of these columns here. Let's have a look.
There we go, right.
Yes, publication year. Okay, so...
That'll do. It's better than nothing. Someone else can part it up later. And although it's interesting,
P577.
they give, that's most curious because if you go to or whatever it is in the Australian Faunal Directory,
right,
it always gives, you know, the page numbers, the full page numbers for the journal, and it gives you the page, you know, if you're actually looking up a particular species, it gives you the page on which that species is described. So
yeah.
it's nice. It puts square brackets around that. So it's much better than the botanical one, which follows the old tradition of simply naming the page, but not naming, you know, not indicate anything further about the article.
There are pages here.
Yep,
Is that what you're saying?
them.
We can use them.
We should use them.
Okay, so page, I don't know what the code for, wait, we're up to here. We've done publication date, full work available at.
No, so we don't bother. No, you're not going to get that.
Published in. So this is possible once we've matched
the parent one.
The parent, yeah, we haven't matched the parent, so we won't be able to do that yet. Volume and pages. Okay, so pages is simple. So this is P304. Yep. So on my sheet number 1, P304, and that's equal to whatever we had in here. Now, not all of them have a page.
That's all right. If they don't have
0,
pages.
I'll delete, and 0, I'll delete. I don't know what
and there's something very odd with that classification one there.
Yeah, I'm tempted to just delete it. For
now.
Oh no! Oh, I know. It might be. Look, it goes pages 1 to 208, and then 209 to 286. So it's a very long thing. This one in the middle could be.
Yes, it probably was published.
Look, it's the same year here.
Yes.
So
and it follows directly. So you could just go 1 to 286 if push comes to shove. Since you can.
Yeah, I think let's do that. 1 to 286. Although to be honest, that's a massive catalog anyway. So I don't know. That's not the catalog. That's the scientific. All right. So yeah, that's fine. And then what's this plates? That has some plates as well. That's fine.
Very typical.
Yeah, that's fine. These are single pages. That's a bit strange.
It may be the only information they've got.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll go with it for now and then see if we should be adding anything else. So volume, what about volume? Do we have that?
We don't know. We've put in the faunal directory thing, haven't we? Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, let's do that. Let's check if we've used everything here. So that's the date that they changed the ID in the system. So that doesn't matter. There's the parent. That could be useful later. Here's the ID, which is very important. We did not use this. That's the publisher, but there's only one filled out anyway. So I don't think that matters.
And in general, they are often not to be found, I find, particularly if they're old.
Right.
Or they come under some, you know, they get changed and, you know, the modern name takes precedence over the earlier name, you know, when there's a publishing house that's continued from whenever to whenever. And so it's really annoying because, you know,
So this one, if you have a look, this one was technically a little more accurate. The publication date was August 31st. We've just used the year so far. If we put in a date, we may have to format it really carefully to make sure it works. And June.
I wouldn't worry about it.
So I think we'll leave it.
Partly because it's useful if it's there, but if somebody wants to hand curate it to the actual.
We have not used this yet, the author string. So let's find how we do that. So
author string.
This one didn't. Oh, that had a real author. But maybe we deleted the author string, didn't we? So
yeah, we did. You need to.
So let's see what the old.
Oh, you're going to have to do a qualifier series ordinal too for your author.
No, I can't link the author because I don't know. I haven't matched it.
Of course.
But I can do this. I think this is all we'll do. So we'll go P2093, which is the author string. Up. Oops, lost it. I forgot the number. 2093, P2093, which is the author string. So we go equals this one here.
Now we've got a problem because
what's the problem?
we haven't segmented the authors if there are double authors in that lot.
There are not. So we got lucky.
Yeah, you did get lucky. And I'd removed the 1861 to 1862.
Okay, I can't, but I could go back here and remove it here. So that's fine. I mean, I normally not meant to mess with my original. Usually I keep one tab, which is like the original tab, and then I muck around with the next tab. But in this case, I'll just do that.
No, this is so little, you don't really have.
Yeah. Okay. So that's all fine, I think.
That all looks good.
So then, for example, I think if we take that and we may have to save it as a CSV. Let's have a look at this.
Save it as a tab.
Statements. Hang on.
Tab
Let me just see.
It's a CSV, isn't
it? We might be allowed. I'll just test this. Paste. Now, actually, those are tab separated, not. The first row is a header describe. Yeah, that's fine. I think we've done what we're meant to do, except that I didn't put commas up. It's naturally interpreted as tabs.
Which is nice.
I'll just see. Well, no, so
see what it looks
fail.
like.
I think it may fail, but I'm going to just say import and see if it is clever enough. No, so it was not clever enough. No. I didn't get it right. So what I'll do then is delete all that. I'll take the Excel and I'll save this as a CSV. And again, I'm showing you all my secrets. Let's go. Let me take it off the screen so I can do it here. Oh, you don't have a, yeah, all right. There's no, don't have a directory for features. No. That's okay. So we're definitely saving it as CSV, and then I will open that CSV as text. Sorry, just got a lot of files here. Open, okay, found it. Open with Notepad. Yep, that looks better. So I think I have what I need. So I'll copy all of that. Ooh, there's some interesting characters in there. That's good that they have saved correctly. So that's nice. So let's try then. I'll paste it all in here. You can see what I came up with. So there's, yeah, so QID, comma, label English, comma, description English, and so on and so on. So that's all good. It's even put little quotes around anything that had a comma in it. So the like the name of this person had a comma in it. So I think this all might work. And you notice that there are some special characters they've been preserved as well. So we'll try that. We'll say import commands.
That looks promising. Now there is a problem.
No, wait.
Because we've assumed.
No, it's not very promising. So there's a problem here.
Oh, we can't put in the subject.
No, it's refusing even with the title. So it was okay for that first, for the name and the description. We did fine. This one has type unknown, and so we have to format this better, and it did not get anything after that because so it failed. So I think this is something about putting a little quotation mark in, but alt interface. No, oh no. All I need is the thing that we had a minute ago, which was your
CSV file.
It was down here. I just wanted, yeah, I wanted all these this information. So what I need to know is how to put a title. Oh, it's because it's got a language code in it.
Oh, we haven't specified what language it is.
Yeah, how do I do that in
it's this? A qualifier for the title.
No, but how does? Oh, is it? I don't.
Yeah, it is a qualifier.
No, I think it's sorry, you could be right. I just.
Well, you're
You're obliged to say it, but I don't think it's a normal qualifier.
By hand, you always have to put in the qualifier.
No, but I think it's not a qualifier. I think it's a language code or something like this. So, this is not.
Yeah.
It's not.
That's put in by that.
It's here, but it's not. It's not add qualifier. It's not like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. That's how you put it in.
No. It comes up inside this box.
Oh, got you.
So it's something slightly different. It's a language code for this value. So so we need to find out how Quickstatements wants that. So I need the Quickstatements the manual, this thing here. This might tell us how to do it. So language code. Here. No. No, those ones are all simple ones. They're all simple ones. Doesn't have it. Doesn't let me do that. It does say to do a string in double quotes. And this is the other thing I was worried about with the dates.
Yeah, but we're not fussed with that because ours is only 4 characters. So I think we're sweet for that.
Yeah, good. Okay. See if we can get title. Oh yeah. This one. Yeah. Look, PL. Monolingual. Monolingual text. Perfect.
Oh right. Okay. So we just and it's got a. It's a colon. So we've got to just. So it's EN colon whatever.
And then quotes. Yes. Yep. Okay. Got it. So let's try that. So the title. This is sheet 1.
That's not the title.
That's not the title. Here's the title.
That's it. Yep.
Okay, and so go concatenate
EN
colon comma.
No comma.
Well, this is part of my formula, unfortunately. So I have to.
Of course, correct.
I'm to write a formula to say. But then I actually also need. Idiot here. I also need some quotes. Around this title string. So I actually, there's probably, I'm sure there's a much better way of doing this, but what I do is that I refer to a cell that I put a quote in. So where's it? So like I'll go to a whole new sheet and I'll type a quote like that. So that A1 on that page is quote. And so I go equal. So here, say this $. I think there's a. Never mind. I'll tell you that another time. So that. All right. So now, yes, now it looks good. Okay. So, so I can copy that down, but everything except the one that we were going to have trouble with. This one, I remember, had a special thing going on. So
no, it's fine because it's the title. So don't.
Yeah, for the title we had a
That should be fine. That looks good.
Oh no, this has ruined all those ones.
Okay. I thought there was it a colon or a semicolon? Can we go back to your page of the other thing? I thought I saw a semicolon, but my eyesight's crap.
It is a colon, yeah, and colon, then quotes, and then the thing. Yeah. So okay, I feel like this. I feel like
that wrong.
I think we might ditch this qualifier, this HTML thing, because it's going to cause trouble, but there's a bunch. This one had a thing in it. Oh, I see. We've got to delete it there. I'll copy that. I'll paste it there. But I need. So the HTML one will look like that. That's fine. Now I'll copy this and I'll paste it here as a value. And I'll delete these.
The title's got your thank you.
Yeah, so just that line is going to cause trouble. So then back over here, we actually just say this is equal to this all the way down, except the one with the, where is it? This one here. This one, I'm going to delete that. I'm going to copy it over. Die Papuanisch. Papuanisch, here it is, copy that. And
Papuanisch, I reckon.
Papuanisch, yes, that's better.
It's Papua.
Okay, and I delete these again. Okay, and so that is all good. So let's try that one then, because so now I save it as that bibliography.
With commas, yeah.
CSV, that's okay. Let's test it all again. How do I open it? Okay. Notepad, and I copy it all. And then you can see it when I paste it in here. All right, try again. Import CSV. No. So it got further. It got the English, but it did not get.
What was our one after the title?
Well, the third column is
the title was our qualifier.
So I am pretty tempted to ditch that one. Are you happy with that?
Yep.
Just delete that. I wonder, it could have failed because it was empty. So I fear, for example, I fear that this empty page number could cause trouble later, but we'll see how we go. So I'll save this again. Save as that CSV. That's okay, go ahead. Yes, go ahead. And we'll try reopening it. Okay, so select all again and paste it in here. So actually I've got to go back out of this. Oops,
yep.
How do I go? New batch. Here. So paste it all again, try and import CSV. Yes, this is better.
That looks heaps better.
But let's see if we got to the end.
Funny.
Oh yeah, it's we got to do this. Oh, and this is bad.
Got to be in
no,
quotes,
there's a few. Okay, all right. So there's a few problems. Let's see if it got stuck on the one without a page. Looked like it did not get stuck on the one without a page. Where's the one without a page? Here, this one has no page, but it managed it. So, okay, so actually we're going all right. Now we've just got to work out how to tell it what type of text this is. And I think here all we may have to do is put a quote around that value. Same with pages, because it's a string.
Yes.
The pages.
All strings are supposed to be in quotes, it said.
Yeah,
when we were reading
it. Author should as well.
Yeah, yep. So all of those should be in quotes.
Okay, so now I'm going to tell you my
any language. So there's no language code needed. They just all need quotes.
Okay, now I'm going to show you this secret which I learned in second year. You can change the name of a cell. I'm going to call this cell quote face. And so then you can go here and say, here, for example, this is one that needs quotes around it. You can say concatenate quote, comma, that, comma, quote. And Lovely. It does it.
Oh, very nice.
So that's kind of fancy. I learned that a long time ago.
Oh, that is nice.
And Excel still does it. So then this
one? I'll do that for the year too, I think.
Okay.
Because it's got to be text for year. I think the year was giving us problems as well.
Okay, I'll check that in a sec. Concatenate, comma, this, comma. Okay. Now with the blanks, I'm not sure what to do. But remember, they gave an error when there was a nothing. So I think
that should be fine.
Problem, it's going to make a blank value.
But that's all right. It won't make a value at all.
I reckon it will. I reckon it'll make.
Oh, you reckon it will? Well, it doesn't matter.
Anyway, yeah, it's not the end of the world. Page equals blank. Quote, comma, this, comma. Yep, so this is getting better. So this will work. Now you were saying maybe the year as well. Let's have a look.
I think the year has to be too.
Did it complain?
Because it's not a number.
Oh,
no, it's fine.
I thought it was okay.
All right, okay, you didn't need to do anything. It's sort of interesting because when you're working in OpenRefine,
yeah,
if it's a number in OpenRefine, it won't come across correctly. It always dies. You've got to turn it into text.
Right.
But okay,
we'll try. I'll try that. So I'll save as CSV again. And say, okay, yes. And then I will reopen it in Notepad.
Now, there is an issue with all of these. Half of them could already be up.
Oh, no. Okay, well, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. You're right. That's a good issue to worry about.
But we're only doing 6, so we can delete them or merge them or whatever we want to do. So it's no big drama.
Import CSV commands. Okay, that's
much happier.
Better. So, yeah, why don't we?
Let's give it a whirl. It's only 13. How many items?
We're making 13. So
I think we can cope with that.
Okay, so yeah, let's go run. Oh no, it doesn't like it. What have I done wrong? Create.
Gee gods. It was looking so.
Create item. Title is Ian. This has got a value. That's okay. Yeah, maybe this is a problem. Shall I put quotes around the date? Maybe that's. Oh well, the worst thing would be if this needs a real date. Maybe it needs a real date.
What do you mean a real date?
Like like a
plus. Zeddy diddly
plus.
Oh yes, of course.
Let me.
Of course. It does need a.
It does. You think? Okay.
Yes, that's why it's dying.
Okay,
so we'll go. The Zeddy stuff with the plus in front of it and all.
Yeah. Okay.
Hugely irritating. So you need to go back to the specifications.
Yeah, I think it turns out they're underneath new batch. So if I go there, oops, no, not that. I mean this. Yeah. So, oh no, it's not written here. Oh, sorry, it's on the help page. Yeah. Okay. So plus here's the format plus 1967.
That's it.
Can you stop there? Can you go /11 straight
You've got to have all of that followed by the
millennium century. No, number 9 is the year. Okay, so if we go plus something and then /9. Oh, here, this is a good example. Date of birth is that. So yeah, it's like this. We just get that whole thing.
Beautiful.
And then we're going to sub in that line.
Yes, I'd forgotten that. And I was hoping to avoid it.
Okay, so that's here equals concatenate a bunch of stuff and then the year and then another bunch of stuff. Okay, so the first bunch of stuff will be everything before the year and the last bunch of stuff will be everything after the year. So I'll get rid of this.
You want the plus?
Yeah,
oh, that's right.
Plus, yeah, I think it'll work. So So let's see that.
Perfect. Okay.
So they look
now
like
there
that.
is a that. Oh, that'll be interesting. See whether that comes across nicely. But give it a whirl.
Yeah. What are you worried about?
I remember vaguely
feels
that
good to me.
when last we'd played with it, you needed an opening quote on the plus sign. It did something peculiar otherwise, but yours is looking good.
Okay,
so
well, I'll
it
try.
should be fine. Give it a whirl.
Okay, open with Notepad again. Yeah, they don't have a quote, so
no.
I'll see if that
no,
works.
it was just, it's interesting that you're able to write it that way in the thing. I remembered, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think you're right. Okay, we'll try anyway. We'll see what happens. So import CSV commands. Didn't change it. Didn't look any better. But maybe that's okay. We'll just try again. We'll say go, run. See if it works this time. It did. It worked.
Looks much happier.
Okay. Oh no! Some of them worked. That one didn't. What's going on here? Oh yeah, this is a blank page. Right, fair enough. I would complain as well.
You're worried about that one.
I think any blank page is going to fail. All right, so that's fine. So let's have a look at just the 2 errors, 2 blank pages, and so we could redo them by kind of deleting that column, I guess.
No, it might be okay. Why don't you try? Oh,
I could put there just is no page, so it really shouldn't have a page. Yeah, this is a little messy. I'm just going to edit the actual. So we're getting rid of the first 3, and then
try it without the double quotes.
No, I'm confident because without the double quotes, we did that before, and it told us it was an unknown string. You know, it didn't know what kind of value it was. So I'm going to delete the first 3 like that, and then use 1, and then delete the next 3, 2, 3, use another one, and then delete the rest. Okay, and these ones we're checking out the page. Which number was the page? The page is like P304. So take that out. It's a long thing of quotes. Delete that. Quotes. That. Okay, so I'll paste this again. I mean, we also should check what we've done as well, because it's already made something. But here all I've done is I've got rid of all the lines that were successful, and now I've put in just the lines that were not successful by removing the column that was just for those.
Gotcha.
And you can see already this weird triple quoting thing that Excel does. But anyway, oh, I hope that works. I hope it doesn't put actual quotes around something. But anyway, we'll try that. So import. Let's see if this works. There's no date. There's no page anymore.
No, no page.
Yep, it's happy. Okay, so we've made some new items. Let's have a look at some of those items and see if it looks okay. So there's one. It's a catalog. It's an article. Don't know if it's an article or a catalog. Potential issues.
That's not bad.
It's all right.
Not too bad. You've at least got author date year.
Yeah, all right. This has not been used before, at least. So if someone else has done it that they haven't put an AFD publication ID on, let's just check that one so it goes to the right place. Ooh, yeah, catalog. Yeah, that's right. It has gone to the right place.
Yep.
Now we could try and fiddle it to kind of improve it. So like if we knew who Gebian was, we could say...
Yeah, no, forget author. Those. They're only worth doing through author disambiguation, really.
Gebian.
It makes no sense. Otherwise, you've got to do an enormous amount of work, and author disambiguation's pretty safe.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't...
Okay,
the critical thing is whether one's putting up the same article twice, but that's possibly not too much of an issue. I mean,
so there's a bunch that we've just done. The insects of Cairns District, Northern Territory. All right, very good. Yeah, so I feel like that was successful.
That's pretty good, Toby, I think. And I hadn't seen that technique before, so that was a real plus.
Excellent.
So yeah, I'm always very tedious having to get everything right there. But yes. And see, Maclay WJ, he can be disambiguated any time.
He might be my guy. Sydney Uni has a museum, right?
Yep.
The Maclay Museum.
Yeah, probably right. Because he you know, he was a. It annoys me. They don't use the word naturalist, but for 19th century people like him, he was a naturalist. You know, anything, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
That was there, he described was an insect or a koala, you know.
All right. So shall we pause the recording at that point, or?
I think that's pretty good actually. Can you sling me your CSV file so I've got something to sort of imitate?
Yep, I'll just.
It's a bit rude.
Oh, do you mean the Excel file or the?
The Excel file probably. Yeah.
Okay, I'll stop the recording now.